It all started when I was sold for $1,000 for drugs at 8 months old. My mother, she got me back, and she was living with her dad, and then they traded me for a house. In a world where everyone is trying to figure out what they're worth and what their value is and what their purpose is in life, I was 9 years old when I learned I was worth $1,000 and that I was to be passed around, abused, and hurt over and over again until someone could step in and rescue me. However, often enough, no one did step in to rescue me. I had many cries for help. I reached out over and over again and received more hurt. And I remember thinking when I was about 13 years old, there has to be something more than this. I was in Philadelphia, and it's one of the hardest places to be if you're a young girl. And yet there was this bus driver that was there, and he would come into the Greyhound bus station where I had ran away to, and he gave me a movie ticket, and he said, "Young girls shouldn't be here." I went over and I went to this movie theater that wasn't playing a lot of movies, but there was one in particular that I wanted to see. It was called The Passion of the Christ. When I went in, I only got 30 minutes into the airing, but there was something about the film that just made me want to cry out. I saw Jesus' suffering. And I remember walking outside of that theater and just kneeling down right in front of the door, and I bawled. I just cried and I cried. But in the middle of the heart of my cry, I heard something spoken to me, and that was this: I want you to teach them about the love that comes through suffering. I remember thinking, what, Jesus? Absolutely not. Don't ask me to teach nobody about love that comes through suffering. Haven't I suffered enough? Why are you asking me to do this? So fast forward a few years later, there I am, this kid at college trying to figure out where I'm going next. I was working for Salvation Army during the time and thinking, you know what? I got to figure out my next step. So I started going on Google and I looked up places that help women and children, families. And I came across this place called Acres of Hope. And while I was looking at it, it just seemed like everything was so fitting, but something in the tagline, it said, breaking the cycle. And I didn't make it through the whole tagline because the full tagline was breaking the cycle of homelessness. But I remember seeing breaking the cycle, and there was something that stirred in my heart with that. So I finally filled out the application. I came in to meet this cool lady named Lisa and her friend Kay. And I remember thinking, what am I doing, God? But something came echoing in my mind again. I want you to teach them about the love that comes through suffering. I got hired onto Acres of Hope as a ministry outreach coordinator. And I thought to myself, this is pretty cool. I remember more than anything, I just wanted to give the moms and their children hope. I mean, this is Acres of Hope. But more so, there was something inside of me crying out. And it was just like, Jackie, fight for them. Help them, be for them when somebody wasn't for you. And when it came down to it, I realized one of the most crucial things about Acres of Hope is we know that it's not about us. We're the hands and feet that are moving for God. And I think one of the most beautiful and potent things about that is it's God who's transforming lives here at Acres of Hope. I'm a young girl that once was sold for $1,000. And now I'm this fierce woman that is fighting so that other people can break their cycle.